everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. We're going to be talking about a topic that I haven't talked with you guys live. I have not talked to you guys live about it. I did do a video. Hold on, let me get that off of there because I don't know what I'm showing you guys right now, and I don't want to get like a copyright situation. I already got one. Okay, so I just put up a video at like 2 o'clock this morning over a topic that I have been asked to cover for several days now. Ever since it seems that this lady got arrested, I had people reach out to me saying, "Hey, are you going to cover this?" But to be honest with you guys, I did not know who this person was, and I knew nothing about the topic. So I've spent the past several days just getting to know who this person is and what she did. And you guys, I have to say, this is probably one of the most concerning cases I've ever come across, or it's bad. Okay, so where is the all right. Obviously, when I got up earlier, though, I was like, let's see if there's any more news about this because I imagine over the next few days, more and more information is going to be coming out about this family. I would have to imagine somebody's already requested the body cam footage. So I feel like that will probably be coming out within the next couple of weeks, unless they refuse to put it out due to, to protect the integrity of the case. They may not put it out because the case is ongoing. However, they may, due to the attention that this case has brought on. Now, if you don't know who I'm talking about, I do have a video that I posted, like I said, at 2 o'clock this morning that gives a rundown of who this family is. And I do have it linked in the description box below. So if you guys want to go watch that and then watch this on replay, I completely understand. I don't want to give like a full rundown of who this family is just because there's so much, but it was a YouTuber. Her name is Ruby Franke. Her and her husband started a YouTube channel years ago, and they had 6 children. So the premise of the channel was to follow them along, following them day in the life of parents with 6 children. And they were Mormons who were, in my opinion, seemed to be very extreme. She used food as a form of punishment. So if the kids would not behave, she did not feed them. And it was very extreme. So she did not raise her children, in my personal opinion. Also, trigger warning, there are things that we're going to talk about is absolutely triggering. We're going to be talking about child abuse, so just be cautious of that. But this is my personal opinion that she was abusive to these children, okay? And she did not raise her children. She was nothing more than a chauffeur to these children when she, wanted to take them somewhere. But by all accounts, there's videos of her saying that her daughter missed pre-K, missed school because she did not wake up. She didn't wake up in time, so therefore she missed school. And her kind of getting on her daughter, like, well, if you want to be to school on time, you have to wake up on time. And her oldest daughter, Sherry, saying, Mom, she can't wake herself up to get ready for school. Like, and her mom's like, oh, yeah, she can. Now, the oldest daughter, Sherry, and the oldest son, Chad. Sherry is like in her 20s, maybe 2021. Chad is like 18. They no longer live in the household. Ruby had this very strict rule that once you turn 18, you are out. She even, for her oldest daughter's 18th birthday, they have a video or had a video up on the channel where it's like, Sherry turns 18, pack your bags. That was literally the title. Sherry turns 18, pack your bags. So she was very strict with once you turn 18, you are out. You don't live here anymore. There was also a video of her where she said, sometimes I wish I could get rid of my kids. And Sherry saying, I wish you could too at times. So there was a lot of abuse that happened in this household. And in my personal opinion, the dad was there for it. Ruby and the dad just split up like a little bit over a year ago, and he moved out of the house. He has not been arrested, but I feel like that should happen, in my personal opinion, very soon because there are tons of videos out there that show that he was a part of the extreme discipline. And at the very least, he sat back and allowed it, and he did not do anything. Now, it seemed, though, there was videos of her not sending her children to school because they didn't wake up on time, down to the 6-year-old. There was a video of her getting a message from her daughter's teacher. Her daughter was 6, and the teacher said, can you please bring Eve lunch to school? She forgot to grab her lunch. And she filmed herself. Ruby films herself, said, I just got this message, and her teacher is uncomfortable with her not having lunch, but like I am not. and I'm not going to drive up there and bring my child lunch just to appease her teacher. Like, Eve is responsible for packing her lunch. So Eve, at this point, 5, 6 year old child, she's responsible for waking herself up, packing her own lunch, not forgetting her lunch. Because if she gets to school and she forgot to pack her lunch or grab her lunch, she goes without. Can you guys imagine? Just picture this. All the little kindergartners, they got their tray or they got their bag and they walk into the cafeteria and they sit down and they go to eating. And here you are, a little 5 or 6 year old, and you have nothing. And it's lunchtime, so you're hungry, and you just look around and you have no food. And you're like, the teacher's like, where's your food? Did you bring a lunch? I forgot. Okay, well, let me message your mom. I'm sure she'll bring something up here. Nope. Not only did she openly talk about using food as punishment and how she refused to run up to the school to bring her 6 year old lunch, but she did it to her son Russell as well. She starts filming herself as she's on the phone with Russell. She starts filming herself. And she's like, well, Russell, that's what you get. You should have grabbed your lunch or at least your lunch money. That's what you get, Russell. And then she hangs up and says, well, Russell forgot his lunch money or to pack a lunch. So he's not going to eat today. And she goes, he sounded like he was about to cry when we got off the phone. A 9-year-old child. 9-year-old child. Okay. She would force them to do push-ups if they forgot their socks outside while playing. Her son Chad, Lulu, the teacher did give Russell food that day because he came home and he told his mom, he's like, my teacher got me soup. My teacher got me soup. As far as Eve, the youngest daughter, I don't know. But Chad, when he was either 14 or 15 years old, he played a prank on Russell and told them that they were going. He woke him up in the middle of the night. I was like, get up, get up, get up, get up. We're going to Disneyland. Pack your bags. So Russell jumps up, very excited, packs his bags. And then Chad says, just kidding, which is honestly like a type of prank that my children would do. Not even going to lie. And she got so upset over that, Ruby did, that she sent Chad to a wilderness camp for over 40 days. You are out in the middle of nowhere. This camp is really designed for like people with addiction. She even talks about when we pulled up, they surrounded our car because I guess they have runners. Kids are like trying to take off rather than go to this. He had limited gear. And this is why I say the dad should be arrested as well, because he as well defended this, saying, hey, Jessica, thank you so much. Jessica Mesca, I like that name. He as well said, we sent him to the wilderness camp because of his actions. And he, it's not just this one thing that he did where he tricked Russell, but it's like several things over the past few years. I'm sorry, but why are you holding things that the kids have done years ago still against them? Like, come on, move on. It's time to forget. You know what I'm saying? Like, forgive and forget. It's a new day. But he says that this is like, things that he's done over the past few years. So we sent him to a wilderness camp where he will have a limited gear and he has to make it through the woods. And if he does that, then he'll be ready for anything. How does that really discipline the child, though? Like, in my opinion, it's going to cause resentment. Like, if my mom sent me there because I pulled a prank on my child, I'm sorry, but I'm hating you when I get home. The respect out the window. Out the window. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might come back and I might act right, but as soon as I'm out that door, you'll never see or hear from me again if you did something like that to me. Also, they took Chad's bed and bedroom. So there was another situation where Chad got in trouble at school, and he comes home and they're like, you have no bed or no bedroom. You have to sleep on a beanbag. So for 7 months, he slept on a beanbag, and so much so that it caused problems with his back, caused problems with his spine. Let me see. There were so many situations, you guys, where it was just, it was so devastating to see the things that she did to these kids. Yes, Emma, I saw that. So actually, when I was doing a little bit of research about this camp, I actually come across an article about the fact that kids have died at this camp. Kids have dropped dead at this camp, like heat strokes and stuff like that. So, come on, you know what I'm saying? Either way, a lot of people's like, CPS, 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 CPS. Like, how did nobody know about this? Like, why were people not contacting CPS? Well, people were contacting CPS, you guys. In 2020, after Chad mentioned that he had no bed or no bedroom for 7 months, and after Ruby explained how her 6-year-old daughter was not going to eat lunch that day. And you know what she also said? She says, I hope nobody gives her anything. Like, I hope nobody breaks down and gives her something to eat because then she's not going to learn her lesson. Huh? Excuse me? Wow. Okay. So after these two things happened, CPS did investigate the family, but they closed the case due to lack of evidence of abuse. The videos were there, okay? The videos were there. The proof was in the pudding. I mean, I don't know. I know sometimes they can't use videos like, Teen Mom, like Amber Portwood. She could not use like Teen Mom clips because they say like it's not actually reality and is traumatized. So, but for this is like YouTube. They're like walking around filming it. Also, you guys, if her kids were sick, if her kids woke up in the middle of the night not feeling well, oh, mommy, I don't feel good. Like, can I sleep with you? She'd be like, grab your blanket and just go sleep by the toilet in case you got to throw up. I don't want you to throw up on me or my bed. She literally spoke about one time where Eve had an accident. She says, Eve woke up at 2 o'clock this morning. She had an accident. And she's like, she don't really have accidents that often. It's like once every like 8 months or so. So she was like, Mommy, I had an accident. Can I sleep with you? And I was just like, just get your blanket and go sleep in the bathroom by the toilet. There was another situation where she actually filmed Russell when he was about 5 or 6 and he was not feeling well. And she was like, all right, well, go get your blanket. And she literally made him a pallet by the toilet. And her mom was there. And her mom was like, Russell, do you want Nana to lay down there with you? And he's like, mm-mm. This is despicable treatment. And honestly, now that she's in jail, I hope she's restricted of her food. And I hope that she is put in a cell with somebody that makes her sleep by the toilet. That's just me. Either way, you guys, a lot of people were like, were there viewers calling CPS? There was a petition started in late 2020 by the viewers. They started a petition, for CPS to get involved. However, CPS, it seems they were called several times and they never did anything. And one thing that we know is that CPS was contacted by neighbors, by Sherry herself after she moved out. She contacted CPS, and Ruby's siblings did as well. They contacted CPS. So this article, I found this on KSL TV 5, and I thought it was very interesting. So this talks about the concerns about Ruby Franke's children reported to the police and DCFS more than a year ago. Okay, so this talks about like times where they were called out there, what they were called for, and how they handled the situation. Okay. It says neighbors and an older sibling, which is Sherry, called authorities to Ruby Franke's Springville home to try to get help for several children in 2022, according to police records that have been obtained by KSL investigators this past Wednesday. The records show police responded to the home more than a dozen times during the last 4.5 years. Several of those visits were related to concerns about the children's well-being. Okay, now what we know is the kids, they are in the custody of the state right now, and that is because Ruby ran her husband off, or he left, whatever. They decided they were going to split up like a year ago, and Ruby got really involved before her and her husband split up. But Ruby got really involved with this lady named Jodi Hildebrandt, and Jodi Hildebrandt owned a like counseling school. I don't know, called Connections Curriculum. They posted on YouTube, they posted on Instagram, and they would literally talk about, and it claimed to be like faith based, like how to handle your children, how to have a better marriage, how to blah, 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 blah. But the advice that they gave was extreme as well. Like one time, Jodi did a video basically saying that if you are RAPED as a female, it is your fault. For some reason, it is your fault that if that happens to you, it is your fault. They also, through Connections Curriculum, talked about how you have no duty to your children other than to thank you, other than to make sure they love God and to protect them from like the evils of the world. You do not have to feed them. You do not have to nurture them. You don't have to give them a room. You don't have to do anything for your children other than introduce them to God, make sure they love God, and protect them from the demonic things of the world. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, that's it. They are Mormon. They are from Utah. So she got really involved with this Jodi Hildebrandt and really involved in this company connections curriculum. So much so that people speculate they were in a relationship. And I don't want to speculate on that too much, but I will say that if you go to Ruby Frankie's page, it actually says that in 2022, it says her and Jodi were in a relationship. So I was kind of confused because I'm like, I see people like questioning this. Like I see people questioning if they were in a relationship. However, they spoke strongly against same sex relationships. So I don't know if they did this because a lot of people would say like, oh, they're together, they're together, they're together. If they did it as like kind of to mock that or what. But January 1st, 2022, it says Ruby Frankie in a relationship with Jodi Hildebrandt. So I really don't know because, like I said, their teachings were against that. Like their teachings, in my opinion, came off as like transphobic, racist, Um, now this friend, Jodi Hildebrandt, she was put on probation and almost lost her license in 2012 when she blackmailed one of her patients that she was counseling with his wife. So they were doing marriage counseling and she was charging him like $1,200 to $2,000 a month. And she said, "Well, you're a porn addict," and he said, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "Listen, I know I'm not that. I know I don't have those struggles." And she said, "Okay." And then she started going around to elders in their church. Is that what they're called? I think they're called elders in the church in the Mormon faith, or bishops maybe, because the guy that she was counseling was also Mormon. So she went to the members of his church and said, "This is his problems. He's addicted to porn, blah, 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 blah." So she violated privacy laws and she was put on probation and she almost lost her license then, but she did not. I don't know why she didn't. You would think they are Mormon shine. Yes. You would think she would have lost her license then, but she did not. Either way, last week, Jodi and Ruby were at Jodi's house, and Russell, who is now 12, escaped out of a window, ran to a neighbor's house, and he had tape around his hands and his feet, and he begged them for food and water. And the caller, the owner of the home, called 911, and while speaking to 911, got extremely upset about the shape of this child. He's like, he's extremely malnourished. Like he's got deep lacerations from like the duct tape, and it looks like he's been tied with rope. And Russell made sure to say, like, my children are there. Like, there's other children there. My sisters are there. I have one sister still at the house at Miss Jodi's house, and I have two more siblings at my mom's house. And he was very scared. He mentioned like a panic room or a safe room, and there is some talk that the reason that Jodi Hildebrandt had a safe room or a panic room in her home was due to like a stalker or something that she had. But it really makes me wonder if it's this guy that she blackmailed, if she thought that he might come back for revenge or something. I don't know. Either way, allegedly, like her house or somebody's house had a safe room, or he mentioned something about Fort Knox or something like that. And I don't know. He may have said something like it's tied down worse than Fort Knox. I don't know. But either way, one thing that I noticed is the children always seem to have dark circles under their eyes, which to me told me that they were not getting enough nutrients. You know what I'm saying? They were not eating enough. Um, the safe room was debunked as part of another call. Yeah, I heard a call about a safe room, and them saying the boy mentioned something about Fort Knox. So I don't know if it has like a Fort Knox store or something. I don't know. But let's go ahead. Let's get into this article about the other calls. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Joanne said I would think IBLP. Yeah. Okay, so the records show police responded to the home more than a dozen times during the last 4.5 years. Several of those visits were related to concerns about the children's well-being. The new revelations come 1 week after a 12-year-old child escaped from an Ivan's home, knocked on a neighbor's door, and asked for food and water. The neighbor called, noting duct tape on the child's ankles and wrists. According to the Santa Clara Islands police, the child had open wounds from being tied up with rope and was emaciated and malnourished. Police arrested the child's mother, Ruby Franke, and the owner of the home, Jodi Hildebrandt, who is also Franke's business partner. The second child, who was 10 years old, a girl, was found in the home as well and was also determined to be malnourished. Franke and Hildebrandt have each been charged, and they have officially been charged. I think that as of today, they were actually charged with 6 counts of aggravated CA. Police said Utah's Division of Child and Family Services has taken all 4 of Franke's minor children into custody. So the dad is not there, but I feel like he should be arrested soon. I feel like he should have already been arrested, but we'll see. The newly released documents obtained by the KSL investigators now raise questions about whether authorities should have intervened sooner and corroborated claims about Franke's neighbors, who spoke with NBC News under the conditions of anonymity, saying that they had previously tried to get the children help by contacting DCFS. Springfield police visited Ruby Franke's home 15 times between March 2019 in August 2023. What? 15 times? During at least 5 of those visits, police were assisting DCFS. In 2022, April 2022, a Springfield police report reveals DCFS had been alerted that 2 children were running out in the road unsupervised, and the caseworker requested police drive to the area. The officer wrote that they responded but did not see any kids in the street. So let's go back home. Okay, no kids here, nothing to see. We don't see them, so surely they were never here, you know? Months later, September 18th, 2023, police responded to the home again, this time at the request of Ruby's oldest daughter, Sherry. According to the report, neighbors informed her that her younger siblings had been left home alone for days while their mother was in St. George with a friend. That would be Jodi Hildebrandt. So they say this happened often, okay? That Ruby would leave, go out of town with Jodi, and leave the children there. Officers responding wrote that they saw the children in the home, but the children would not answer the door. Officers seen the children on the phone and then go up the stairs where they were out of sight. When police approached neighbors who gathered outside, they immediately started telling the police about how the mother of the resident, Ruby Franke, will leave her children home for extended periods of time and go to St. George to spend time with her friend Jodi Hildebrandt. Okay, let me see. Let me find my notes that's got their ages on there because I'm trying to figure out who would be the oldest at the time that she's leaving right now. Okay, so Abby is 16, Julie's 14, Russell's 12, and Eve is 9. So, I mean, is a 16-year-old, should she have to tend to her 3 younger children for weeks at a time while her mom is off gallivanting, living the life of like a, young teen, going to Lake Havasu, riding jet skis, being on boats, blah, 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 blah. And this poor 16-year-old girl is at home tending to her 14-year-old sister, 12-year-old brother, and 9-year-old sister. Probably instructed, don't answer the door. Yeah, did I say kids? Yeah, siblings. I know in Louisiana, I think you can like be at home by yourself for like a couple hours at like the age of 13, but I don't know if you're allowed to like stay at home with your children, like with your siblings for days. as a 13-year-old. So this is just wild. Everyone who came to the scene was very concerned about the children and them being left at home alone. CPS calls before they come for a visit, giving her warning to make matters in order for her to approve. I've never known of CPS calling before they come. And in this case, uh, I don't think she was alerted. I'm not sure. Okay, so police documented neighbors' names and contact information, noting several were willing to provide information and evidence to DCFS. Central Intake was contacted and a report started. Springfield police confirmed that means the information was provided to DCFS. So they got the information from neighbors, names, contact information, and the neighbors' concerns, the police did. And then they sent that over to DCFS. Police calls, police call records, police call records for the address show officers followed up days later on September 22nd, 2022, and then visited the home 3 more times on September 26th, 23rd, 26th, and 3rd to assist DCFS. In response to questions from KSL investigators, DCFS spokesperson Miranda Fisher released a statement Wednesday saying, in part, due to confidentiality and the privacy of the children and families we work with, DCFS cannot share information on a case, either past or present, or confirm involvement with a child or family. Fisher's statement did not address a question from the KSL investigators about whether the agency is reviewing its prior involvements with the family to determine whether policies and best practices were followed. No, it wasn't. In my opinion, DCFS declined to participate in an interview. So this just goes over who Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt is. We're not really going to get into that. Together, Jodi Hildebrandt and Ruby Franke regularly posted videos offering advice on parenting. Get this. She thought she was some sort of, wonderful parent to the extent that she thought she should be offering advice to others. Just because you have a lot of kids, it doesn't mean that you know any better than anybody else. I got 6 kids, but I'm not like, I don't know. I'm not, do I give advice if somebody comes to me? Sure. But do I feel like I have like all the knowledge that be? You know what I'm saying? Um, I watched a former CPS worker on TikTok, and it's interesting to hear the story she tells. My mother in law was a CPS investigator for like 10 years. She was the one that would go to your house and investigate and then write the report. And I will say this in defense of CPS, honestly, it's usually not the worker unless they don't take like well enough notes. But like as far as my mother-in-law was concerned, she would say, "This is the issue. This is my suggestion," and then the judge would not take her suggestion. And there were several times where kids ended up dead or hurt in cases that she was investigating, children that she spoke to and she came to know. And she would suggest we need to remove these kids. They're being abused. And the judge would say, well, let's order the parent to parenting classes. Let's make sure they're taking drug tests. Let's leave the kids there. Let's give them 6 months to see if they'll do, 10 parenting classes and submit to a drug test once a month. And she would say the kids need to be removed. She would go back, once a month or something, and the parents would not be doing their classes and they would not be doing their drug test. And she would say, we really need to remove these kids. And the judge wouldn't. So there were literally times where kids were, there was one situation where like a father murdered like his children. And, so in defense of CPS, it could have been that they were suggesting that the kids be removed and a judge saying, nah, don't worry about it. We really don't know, you know? Okay, so Uh, so they were referred to themselves as moms of truth. In a video posted to the Connections Facebook account November 2022, Ruby stated, "You're not going to hear anything like this in any parenting book." You don't say. Yeah, because it's not going to tell you in a parenting book to, slap your kid in order to teach them that we don't slap people. It's not going to tell you to take your son's bedroom and bed for 7 months because he pulled a prank on his sibling. It's not going to tell you that your 5-year-old should be responsible for getting herself up and ready for school. It's not going to tell you that, food is not a privilege. It is a necessity. I could understand if she was taking their snack, like, okay, you want to misbehave? You're not getting snack. You will get breakfast, lunch, and dinner today. No snack. Are you going to bed early? There was one video where she wanted Eve to massage her, like, come give mom a massage. And like Eve didn't want to do it. And she was like, you won't eat it all today. At all. She's like, you're not going to get any food today. And then there was this one situation where they were going to the movies. She was going to be a good parent, bring the kids to the movies. And she had her nephews there. And she was like, we're going to eat before we go. This woman gets a banana out. One single banana. Says, we're going to eat something really good before we go. Okay, everybody, get in line. And then she tells her nephews, get in line. And she says, I love being able to talk to my nephews like that. Get in line. She peels the banana back. As they come in line, one takes a bite. She goes, get back to the back of the line. The next one takes a bite. Get back to the back of the line. The next one takes a bite. Get back. One banana. They all in a line. Come take a bite. Come take a bite. Come take a bite. And that is their food before they go to the movies. Something good. Let's eat something good. I'm sorry. I mean, is a banana good? Sure. Is it a good snack? Sure. But not if you only get one bite. And then you're eating after, your siblings and your cousins and they're young. So who knows? They might got a booger stuck to their lip from when they were trying to eat their booger earlier. Like, who knows? You know what I'm saying? It was one banana for all of them. And she thought she was doing the dang thing. Like, oh, we're eating good before we go to the movies. Oh, it's so wild. I'm just like, okay. A video posted in August 2022 featuring Jodi Hildebrandt is titled, Hitting Your Child Creates Fear. Does she know that Ruby hits her children? She opened the video by saying, there are other ways to grab your children's attention. She goes on to say, hitting children creates a dynamic of fear, and other ways of getting their attention will probably take more effort. They'll just get hit, and then they'll look at you like, so? Now what are you going to do? Hit them harder? Like pummel them? Now you've lost your intervention. And more kids are going towards that, where they just don't appear to be phased. So Ruby, before she got involved with Jodi, that was her form of working with her child. So there was a situation where Eve hit Russell, and she starts like hitting her. She's like, do you like it when I hit you? What if I were to kick you? You're in my way right now. What if I were to kick you? Do you like that? And Eve's like, no. Mind you, this girl's like 5. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. And she's like, well, you do that to people. You do that to your little brother. Yep, she's 5. You're probably 35. You're going to teach her that we don't hit by hitting her? Well, make that make sense. Anyways, okay, so all right, just crazy. So today also, here's another article that I want to kind of go over with you guys, and then we're going to go over how the dad's responding to this and what he has to say his main concerns are. Okay, your main concerns should have been them kids months ago, years ago. All right, so they have formally been charged with 6 counts of CA. Ruby's family and neighbors have spoken out about her behavior since her arrest last week. All right. So she's been getting criticized for some time over her controversial parenting advice online. She's been charged with 6 felony counts of CA. I wonder if anything else will come with this. Like, I feel like, is there something that you can get charged with for, like, duct taping your children in a room. I don't know. I mean, even though it's your kid, can you get charged with like child endangerment? Like, there should be other charges that can come along with this. People confirmed the news with the Washington County Attorney's Office in Utah on Wednesday morning. Ruby now faces 6 charges after she was initially arrested and charged last week with 2 charges of aggravated CA. A spokesperson for the county's attorney's office said Ruby's podcasting partner Jodi Hildebrandt is also now facing 6 charges as well. The attorney's office said the 6 charges each woman faced center around the abuse of Ruby's 2 children, around abuse Ruby's 2 children allegedly endured. A press release from the attorney's office claimed that each defendant is accused of causing or permitting serious physical injury to the victims in 3 different ways. Number 1, a combination of multiple physical injuries or torture. Number 2, starvation or malnutrition that jeopardizes life. Number 3, causing severe emotional harm. Man, this just breaks my heart for these kids. Oh. Ruby and Jodi were arrested last Wednesday at Ruby's home after police say Russell escaped through the window, ran to a neighbor's home, asking for food and water. Daughter was in similar condition. All right. Now, Ruby's 2 sisters and Ruby's oldest daughter, Sherry, have said in recent days that the kids are now safe and recovering, while family members, neighbors, and Ruby's social media followers have spoken out about the news. So after the arrest happened, Sherry, the daughter, actually shared a post of the police outside her childhood home. And she said, finally. Sherry is like, finally, thank God. So Sherry herself has called the police, has called CPS saying, get these kids out of there. This is not good. And she was one of the children. She's like, I lived there. I lived it. I'm telling you. So finally, Sherry wrote on an IG post last week alongside officers outside her family's home. She wrote another post. Today has been a big day. Me and my family are so glad justice is being served. We've been trying to tell the police and CPS for years about this, and so glad they finally decided to step up. Finally. And okay, so Lulu B says Ruby will point the finger at Jodi, claiming she's more educated and licensed. She's going to yell, I was brainwashed. Watch. I think that's true. I do think she's going to try to blame this, at the counselor who gives parenting classes. But this goes back before her. So she's going to have a hard time with that, in my opinion. But I do think she's going to try to. I think she's going to try to say that this woman influenced her to discipline her kids a certain way. Granted, they may not have been duct taped back then, but there's still plenty of evidence of them being abused, in my personal opinion. Now, I did read somewhere, and I haven't been able to find this anywhere else, but I read somewhere that Jodi was saying that Ruby should never be allowed to be around children ever again. I could not find that. I don't remember where I saw that at. It may have been like on TikTok where they're like, oh, Jodi's flipping on Ruby already. She said in an interview, Ruby should never be around children again. But I'm not going to say that is factual, that was said or that did happen, because I can't find it again. I actually came across that the other day when I was looking at something, and I haven't been able to find it again. But if that is the case, if they start this blame game, in my opinion, it's both y'all's fault. Jodi, that was your house. That was your house where those children were holed up in a room with duct tape on them. I mean, did Ruby bring the tape? And she had you thinking that the kids were in there playing video games on their iPad? I doubt it. You knew about it. If you see something, say something. So, okay. One neighbor told people this week that Ruby initially appeared friendly and engaging, but in the past year, her behavior suddenly changed, while her 2 oldest kids became less present in the neighborhood. She really started isolating her kids. The neighbor, who spoke on the condition of anonymity, said, I think we saw some weird things, but I don't think anybody thought that these kids were being physically abused to that degree. So YouTube has since taken down the channel. They've been permanently banned from the platform. Washington County Sheriff's Office jail records show that Ruby and Jodi are still in custody with no bond, to my knowledge. They have, um, right, and they were emaciated. I keep wanting to say emancipated, which is totally different. Which if they would have been emancipated, that would have been better. But yeah, that doesn't happen overnight. This is not something that just happens. They do have court Friday, and as of right now, they have not entered into a plea. Now let's get with the dad over here, okay, and how he's responding to this. No, Kevin does not have custody now. The children are in the custody of the state from the last thing that I found like an hour ago. I double checked like an hour ago because I saw this video where somebody said that there's so much like false information out there too. So it is kind of hard to like weed through it. But I saw this video where they said that the kids were with Ruby's sister. So I'm like, wait, what? So I went to kind of digging into that to see, like, wait, have they been placed somewhere else? And as of right now, they are still in the custody of the state, from what I'm reading. So let's talk about Mr. Frank. Why do I never mind Kevin? I keep wanting to call him Frankie. This cat. All right. Oh, the dad should not have custody of them, in my opinion. I think he should be charged, in my opinion. Okay. The husband of Utah mom and YouTube content creator facing child abuse charges denies that he had any role in his wife's alleged activities, according to his attorney. Kevin Frankie's wife, Ruby Franke, is now facing charges. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. Randy Kester, the attorney of Kevin Franke, denied the children's father had any role, saying that he was not living in the house where the alleged abuse was taking place. Mom had the kids for the summer and went out of the country with the county. Went out of the county with the kids. She went out of the county with 2 kids. 2 more stayed at home. And if he had known or thought that there was abuse going on, he would have been all over it. Kester said Tuesday on Como. The alleged abuse happened in a house that were a couple hundred miles away from where Mr. Franke was. Ruby Franke is a Mormon mother of 6 from Utah. She and her husband ran a YouTube channel called 8 Passengers about the life of their 6 children, who currently range from 10 to 20. At the peak of the channel's popularity, they have more than 2 million followers. Okay. Kevin Franke has not been charged, and police have not disclosed whether he was living in the home at the time. But Kevin's attorney says that he was not, and that he had not lived there for more than 12 months. In a statement to Page 6 last week, Kester said that Kevin Franke's goal is to keep the children together and hopefully away from y'all. If the allegations are true, my client has never supported, condoned, or even acted in a physical way towards those kids. He is a good guy, a very humble guy, a good dad, and he needs to get those kids back to be able to kind of get them out of the media and get their lives back to normal. That's his objective. I'm sorry. So, sure, Jan. Where's the other part of a statement that I found? Another statement that he gave to another outlet. Okay, Kevin's attorney says that they have been living separately for the last 13 months, and Kevin's main objective is to follow the court's lead and do what's best for his children. Kevin is fighting to clear his own name. His attorney says Kevin is a very good guy. He's a great dad. He's very gentle. No one has ever made any allegations that he has ever physically abused those kids or anyone else. He just wants to do what is best for his kids. He wants to get them back and get them under his fathership and protect them. Kevin says that he's distraught over how the allegations have impacted his family. These allegations have been going on for years, you guys. These allegations have been going on for years. This is not something, the only difference is she was finally arrested. This is not new information like, what? They're being abused? Kevin. Like, not Kevin. There's a whole petition started on change.org. Did you not watch the content? Also, I will say that there was something that I read that said that he was like the one that did the editing. His job was like, let's see, he was like a professor. What was his? He worked at BYU. Okay. Assistant professor of civil engineering at BYU. Okay. So, in one thing that I watched, it said he actually said, like, due to his job, he is like pretty good at like the editing and stuff. So, at least in the beginning, they both filmed and he did the editing. So, how, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did you not see this? How did you not see this? I do apologize, Donna. I talk really fast. It may be the Red Bull. Yeah, exactly. Which tells me he had the brains to know better. Exactly. Now, if you guys want to really follow, let's see. There is obviously several TikTok channels, but the one that I have seen the most that has like the most clips and stuff like that, where I got a lot of my clips from my video is it's called 8 Passengers Over. And it says it's Sherry Frankie's account. So I guess this is Sherry running this, but it shows clips from things that they went through. Okay, here's the video that I was talking about a while ago.
We're gonna go see Despicable Me 3. But before we do, I'm gonna make sure these kids have something good to eat. So, Boston, get in line.
I'm first.
Everyone get in line. Here we go. You get back there.
So we're gonna go.
I love that I can talk to my nephews that way. Get in line. Now go back to the back of the line. Get in line. Now go back to the back of the line. Now go back to the back of the line. Make sure you're all through with your banana. Everyone take a second to swallow it.
Worried about Cody because you can't.
We're gonna go see Despicable Me
There's
3.
where
But before
sharing them one banana. Joanne, I will check that today and see if there's any updates. I do know that Leilani got her GED. And for some people, I'd be like, "Yay, congratulations," but not for her. No congratulations for her. She's just trying not to be sitting there bored. Here's a very telling clip. Okay.
me to send you away. Sherry's like, "Oh no, don't eat me." You want me to send you away. Sherry's like, I feel like sometimes I've wondered if I should get rid of my kids. I would not object. No, you want me to send you away.
He said, "Sometimes I wonder if I should get rid of my kids." And Sherry, that's the oldest right there, says, "I have no objections to that." If my mom said in front of me, "Sometimes I wonder if I should get rid of my kids," I would be like, "Are you joking, mother?" Like, what? But clearly she did just that. Sherry and Chad got out of the house. Her youngest was 16. And she's going on trips with Jodi and leaving the kids home alone. And she starts acting like a single woman with no children. Oh, this one's very sad.
Look at it.
No! Where is it? Don't! Don't! She'll be crying all day. Seriously.
Okay. Let me tell you something. Look at me. No, you look at me. Look at Mama. If you cut one more thing in my house, I'm going to take the scissors. Look at me. And I'm going to cut its head off.
Grandma, you'll be so mad.
So what are you going to do?
Are you going to cut anything else? No.
Look at it.
Okay, so first off, she's 5. If anybody has children, we all know that at some point throughout their little, toddler stage, they find the scissors and they either cut their hair or they cut paper up and it's all over the floor. And honestly, that's probably our fault because we're not making sure the scissors stay out of our children's reach. So honestly, this is just my personal opinion. A lot of times when my kids make mistakes that frustrate me, it's usually my fault. Like if they got into something, it's like that they weren't supposed to get into. It's like, well, I left it out. I left it within their reach. Kids are curious. Kids always, my daughter Paris, fingernail polish. She got into the fingernail polish that I left on the thing beside the bed one time. It was red fingernail polish, and she got it everywhere. But she was like 4. She wanted to paint her fingernails, and this happened with Eve too. There is a clip of Eve. She's hiding under her mom's bed, and they go to look for her. So Ruby calls everybody down for dinner, and Eve doesn't come. So she goes looking for her, and they have looked for like 30 minutes, and she considers calling the police. And they finally find Eve under her mom's bed, and they like pull her out, and they see that like her hands have been painted. And in Ruby's bathroom, they see that she attempted to paint her fingernails, and she got it everywhere. So she sent her to bed. No dinner. She's like, go to bed early. You're not going to get to eat, and you will not get your nails painted for several months, and you will actually have to do chores around the house and earn money so we can replace my rug. That for a 5-year-old. A 5-year-old's punishment for getting into the fingernail polish that you probably should have put up, Mom, is that she's got to work around the house to make money to replace the rug. She cannot get her nails done. She said her nails is her favorite thing to do. So she can't do that. And then she has to go to bed without any dinner. I don't know exactly. Two of my kids probably more, had this situation with the scissors, of cutting their hair. It's kind of a situation. Yeah, my daughter cut her bangs. There was nothing to do but let her grow out. Exactly. Could you guys imagine if it was one of her kids that cut their bangs? What would she do? And this is how she treated them and punished them in front of the cameras. So just imagine how it was behind the cameras. So in this particular situation, though, the little girl got scissors, and I think she cut her mom's sheet, because I saw another clip of this where it said something about it being the sheet. So in a way to teach her 5-year-old that we don't cut people's things is by threatening to cut people's things. And as you guys hear the other ones, they're like, no, please don't do it. Please don't do it. She's going to cry. She's going to cry. Please don't do it. And then you hear one of the kids saying, Grandma's going to be so mad. It seems like that must have been a gift that Grandma got for Eve. But she's literally saying, if you cut anything else in my house, I'm going to cut your favorite stuffed animal's head off. Excuse me, monster. Not the baby's head. Here's the one where she's pushing her daughter, right?
Your way. Can I push you?
No.
I kick you?
No.
What if you're in my way and I want to kick you? What happens?
Well, did you know somebody was in my way in line, and then they kicked me and stomped?
Well, did you know that Russell was in your way today and you hurt him so badly he had to come home?
Eve, everybody has a space around them that is their boundary. And
Exactly.
You can't go past it because you can hurt them.
What if I took my hand and I hit you like that? Would that be crossing the boundary? Yeah.
Is that okay to do?
Is that okay? But what if I really am in a hurry?
Well, no, it's not okay, but Mom, you're doing it.
And I just don't like you being there.
This is the dad. This is the innocent dad, right?
I have a really, really good...
This is him literally sitting there as Ruby. Even if that was the way that she wanted to teach her child, did she actually have to hit her child? And why does she have to hit her so many times? She hit her like 4 times throughout this little 1-minute clip. She literally hit her like 4 times.
Reason for just getting in your boundary.
You can't do that. Well, if you do that, that's mean.
Mm-hmm.
But why do you do that to other people?
I'm sorry.
I'm glad to hear you're sorry. You have a lot of people to tell you're sorry to.
I'm like, that's very counterproductive in my opinion, to hit your child in order to teach them not to hit. And my thing is she did it 4 times, 4 times. Are you she didn't do it that hard, but she's like, Did you like that? No. But you did it. She's like, yeah, you do it too, Mom. You know, like, let's see. Okay, here's where they mention the safe room, and this is what Sherry has up. So I know there's like some confusion about a safe room. Let's listen to this real quick.
LT, there's a panic room inside the garage, downstairs underneath the garage. Yeah, he said it's downstairs and it's underneath one of the garages, and he's calling it a safe room. He said something about Fort Knox, so I don't know if it has a Fort Knox door or safe on it, but that's what he's talking about. Temple, we've got it, but we can't get into it. My guess is that would be where they're at. He says it's a large room, it's a panic room. This one says Liberty Safe Company. It's got a big wheel on the front. I'm at the front door. On this case that we're working, we have the custodial parent of the child in the ER. She just came to our PD and then she took off when we said cops will talk to her in a second. So we're hoping maybe someone can go to the cop at the ER can restrict access from her to her kids. That's something you can relay to them. Her name is Ruby and her name should be in CAD comments. Just confirming this needs to be LT, there's a panic.
Okay, so like I said, there's been some confusion about this panic room. Somebody a while ago was like, no, that's a different clip. That's a different clip. But this is why I believed it, because it says unreleased police scanner audio about Ruby Franke and the safe room her children were locked in. And this is posted by the oldest daughter, Sherry. So that's why I'm feeling like I believe it, that you know, because she's the one that posted it.
At about 2 this morning, she's like, Mom, I peed the bed, which is not like her. She pees the bed maybe like once every 8 months. Like, it's been a very long time since she wet the bed. I was like, oh, darn it, that's all right. Just go sleep on the floor in the bathroom.
Oh, darn it. Just go sleep on the floor in the bathroom. What? Really? Here's the husband asking Chad if he needed how he felt, because he had a fever of like 103, and he's filming him.
You're going to lose the privilege to eat. You don't need food. My kids are literally starving. Not under any circumstance go into the kitchen. Hopefully nobody gives her food. And once you hit 99 pounds, you don't need any suckers anymore. You're too old. You're too big.
There's nothing to eat.
Yeah, I need to go to the store. Stop. Just stop. You're going to lose the privilege to eat. You don't need food. My kids are literally starving. Not under any circumstance go into the kitchen. Hopefully nobody gives her food. And once you hit 99 pounds, you don't.
Once you hit 99 pounds, no suckers, no sweets. Let's see. Ruby.
Lunch is a little bit different than yesterday just because Mondays and Fridays are 1900 calorie days. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays are 1700 calorie days. And then Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday are 1500 calorie days. And today is at 1700. So lunch is a little bit different than yesterday just because Mondays and Fridays are 1900 calorie days. And
I want to look up. She said 1900 calorie days. The weekends, you would think the weekends she would be allowed more calories, but it's actually reversed. On the weekends, less calories. Now, girls require an average of 2200 calories per day. 2200 calories per day is what girls need.
lunch is a little bit different than yesterday just because Mondays and Fridays are 1900 calorie days. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays are 1700 calorie days.
She's like 15 here. She should not be counting calories. I don't know, B. I wouldn't be shocked. She was very skinny, but I don't know that. I haven't seen anything to say that she did.
Do not move from your couch. You got your blanket. You've gone to the bathroom. The doors were locked and bolted. do not move from your couch. You got your blanket, you've gone to the bathroom, the doors were locked and bolted.
I sleep with every night.
She said, I sleep with this every night. And she starts nervously laughing. So here's one of her daughters that every night she like sneaks her teddy bear in bed with her. And she's like finally like telling her mom this.
Yeah, she sees it every night. She can never sleep.
And you thought you had to sneak it past me? Oh, honey, that's okay. Are you gonna cry?
She's laughing.
Oh, honey, I'm not gonna get mad at you for that. Oh, you can bring sprinkles. You can bring sprinkles, honey.
I sleep with every night.
So she literally, I think they went somewhere and they had to pack their bag, obviously. And this daughter packed her stuffed animal because she sleeps with the animal. And then as she's like pulling it out, she's like, oh, I got to tell my mom, you know, that I sleep with this every night. And then she realizes that like her daughter keeps it from her, like, you know, sneaks it. She's like, you don't have to do that. Well, yeah. Yep. She obviously felt like she had to. Here's another clip where they're going to the movies and Eve comes down the steps and she says, go get your shoes. We're going to the movies. And she says, what movie? What would you say if somebody called you and said, hey, get ready. I'm going to come pick you up and we're going to a movie. What would your first statement be after that? Oh, what are we going to see? Right? What are we going to see? Well, Eve said, what movie? And she's like, oh, you're not going. You're not going. You're not going. You are not grateful.
Go win.
We are going to a movie, so go get on your shoes.
What is it?
What is it?
Does it even matter? If someone asked me if I wanted to go to a movie, I wouldn't ask, what is it? Run and get your shoes or you're going to not go. Hurry. Everyone run. Hey, this is Ruby. I was wondering, is Brooke available to babysit?
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. What a good idea for spring break.
Mom, I'm really
Sorry, guys.
Go win.
We are going to a movie, so go get on your shoes.
What is it? What?
Does it even matter? If someone asked me if I wanted to go to a movie, I wouldn't ask, what is it? Run and get your shoes or you're going to not go. Hurry. Everyone run. Hey, this is Ruby. I was wondering, is Brooke available to babysit?
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. What a good idea for spring break.
Mom, I'm really sorry.
Well, good. I will call her again. Tell her I will call her again.
Sherry.
Okay, have fun.
My shoes are
Uh-huh.
really soft.
Bye.
Okay. So I went to call
Babysitter's not available. I am not taking Eve, unless you come and give me a huge apology. You come give me a hug and you come say you're sorry. No, again, where I can pay attention. It was not very thankful of you. I was excited and I told you to go get on your shoes and your jacket to see a movie. And you should say, okay, and be grateful instead of, well, what movie? Well, I don't know. Let me think about it. That's not very grateful. And I'm not going to.
She didn't say all that. She didn't say, well, I don't know. Let me think of it. She just said, what is it? Like, what movie?
I'm going to take a girl who's not grateful. Can you show some more gratitude? Okay, give me a big hug. Go get a jacket. It'll be a little chilly.
Thanks for inviting me to the movie.
Oh, I'm glad you had to change it up.
Go win.
We are going to a movie, so go get on your shoes.
She filmed everything. Oh, here's one. And then we're going to cut it off. We're over an hour, but this whole story has me like flabbergasted.
Ready to tell you this, honey, but unless you find a friend who's willing to share some of their food with you, I don't think you're going to be able to eat. But if you're not responsible for your lunch and your lunch money, that's the natural consequence. And I'm really sorry you're learning this the hard way. I will have a wonderful, yummy snack. Just hang in there today and just make up your mind. You're going to be really careful and make sure you grab your stuff when you go to school next time. And maybe you have a good friend who will share some of their sandwich with you or something. Russell, I'm really sorry. He sounded like he was going to cry. Sorry to tell you this, honey, but unless you find a friend who's willing to share some of their food with you, I don't.
But this
I don't
is
think
what
you're
had
going to be able
happened
to.
with the 9-year-old, you know, like, oh, he sounded like he was going to cry. Like, she laughed over the fact when she got off the phone that, here, let me tell you guys something. When my kids call me, they forget something, I'm running to the school. Like, I ain't gonna lie. If I didn't have a ride, I would literally run. I would run if I needed to. You know what I'm saying? Like, my kids, I'm terrified of thinking, like, I don't send my kids to school without, like, snack money or snack. They eat breakfast, breakfast and lunch, and I make sure they have snack of some sort. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if we're broke. I'm trying to figure out how can I make sure my kids have snack as well. You know, the fact that she laughed about the fact that he sounded like he was gonna cry was like, how is that even like how what in you is it like a nervous laugh? Like I don't know, like somebody that laughs when discussing something like that, especially in terms of their own child, weirds me out. I ain't even gonna lie. Because I'm like, you sound like you're happy about that. Y'all go follow this TikTok because it has like all the things. It has been keeping up with this family. Here's like audio of 911 call. This is getting mad at the 5-year-old for sleeping in, and so she didn't send the kid to school. It's so much. You guys go follow this TikTok account. It's got a lot of good stuff on here. But when I say good stuff, I mean like in terms of keeping up with what's been happening. And they are saying, from what I'm hearing, is that the content can be used. That's what I heard, is that they do believe all of this content can be used against Ruby. And I sure hope so. This is despicable. This is disgusting. So this is what Sherry posted. Let me turn the music off. Okay, so she said, hi, today's been a big day. Oh, and never mind. Aggravated CA, intentionally or unknowingly. Intentionally or knowingly, not unknowingly. So in her demented world, she thinks that if she makes them go without eating, then they will not forget their lunch or their lunch money again. And I'm like, I'm 36. And like, I go to leave all the time and get my car and be like, oh, my keys, my purse, my phone. And guess what? Even if my husband said, well, you're not getting your phone back today, you got to go all day without your phone, is that going to make me like more, able to remember? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But come on. Consider this, though. Them children getting into the lunchroom and just sitting there and their little tummies rumbling and everybody beside them is eating and you have nothing. That thought alone is horribly heartbreaking. The fact that those kids are sitting there with nothing to eat and their friends and their peers are all eating. And it's like, well, maybe your friend will share a sandwich with you. Or maybe, mom, get up off your lazy bum and go bring that child a snack. And then there was our lunch. There was another video where she actually showed what the kids packed for themselves. And like Eve, she packed Nutella and Nutella sticks. She packed the peanut butter and jelly sandwich that comes like already together. So this account is called 8 Passengers right here. 8 Passengers Over. You can look up Sherry Franke or 8 Passengers Over and you should be able to find it. I'll link it in the description box as well. But literally when she did show what the kids packed, especially for the young kids, it was not anything. It was not like, obviously they're going to pack like junk food, and she allowed that because she would rather them pack their lunch and it be junk food than her have to go do it herself. Yeah, there's a Reddit thread as well. It's called 8 Passenger Snark as well. This world is so unforgiving and life is hard on everyone. So sad those babies that didn't have a safe place in their mother. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it was not a healthy meal. They weren't packing healthy meals. But anyways, you guys, we're going to continue to keep up with this. We're going at over an hour long, and there's just so much here that is hard. When I recorded my video, the video was 50 minutes. The video itself was almost an hour long, and it had so much other stuff that we talked about and I brought up that I really had to like compact it to where it wouldn't be so long, because editing and uploading a video that's almost an hour would have been the death of me. So I managed to get it down to like 34 minutes or something like that. But a lot of the information that I got came from this page here. Sloan covered it. Sloan's got some videos on his account that are really good. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Nicole, for becoming a member. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Elle Bee family. You guys, welcome Nicole into the family. And then Bendy, thanks for covering this out. You were so welcome. Bendy, next month you'll be a member for a year. That's awesome. We're going to continue to keep up with this. And like I said, she has Court Friday. And yes, Marky has about 147 videos as well. I just come across that channel as well. And Marky, so that's the channel that they were raised Mormon and they got out like a couple years ago, right? Is that the one that you're talking about? Because I saw that one as well. So It Get Mail, I think, is covering it. Sloan is covering it. Marky is covering it. Several other creators that are covering this, you guys. But we're going to continue to follow it. I'm going to call and see if the court hearing will be like open to the public, or if we can get like a Zoom link or something to see if we can, listen or whatever. And if we can, Jordan and McKay's channel. Oh, that's the one that, yep, Jordan and McKay is the one that I'm talking about. Yeah, I will say this is not a Mormon thing per se. I do want to be sure in saying that. That's why I say I feel like they were like some extremists, like some radical Mormon group, Oh, thank you, Lulu. Because I have family members that are Mormon, and they would never do stuff like this at all. So I do want to say that this is not like a Mormon thing. You know what I'm saying? She is highlighted as being a Mormon because a lot of her parenting, she claimed, was based off of her faith of Mormonism, but I don't think it really did. Oh, thank you, Nicole. Absolutely, you're my favorite crew. So sweet. Thank you so much. Y'all guys really don't understand how much that makes my day when y'all say I'm y'all's favorite, because this platform is like got so many. So that's like a huge thing for me. So thank y'all. I've been working so much to really get to know this family, this woman, and kind of understand and find out all these things that she did. They're SDA. Right? Blame it on your religion. That's infuriating too. I agree. What is SDA? I've never heard of that. Oh, Seventh Day. Okay, no. To my knowledge, everything that I've read said that she's Mormon. Yeah, we have family that are Mormons, and they would never do this. So, you guys have your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you guys, please do me this favor. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed it on playback, if you enjoyed being here and watching the stream, on your way out, hit that thumbs up button, okay? Because I'm going to be kind of shadow banned over the next few months because somebody copyright struck my channel. And when you get a strike, YouTube kind of shadow bans you, okay? So I really don't need to be put in a position to where I'm shadow banned. I need my content out there for you guys to see. And by hitting that thumbs up button and commenting in the comment section, that really helps me out. I think the world needs, oh, thank you, Joanne. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Thank y'all. We're going to continue to follow this case. And I know that since I put my video out this morning, I've got like, let me see, several more viewers, like a couple hundred. And you guys are probably following me for this case alone. And we're going to continue to follow that, of course. But I do cover like reality TV, celebrity news and gossip. And if you're into that, you can join me when I go live about those topics as well. Or if you just want to continue to follow me as we cover this case, we'll be keeping up with it. Anytime something comes out, we'll do a live stream. We'll talk about it. So subscribe, leave me your thoughts, and double check that thumbs up button. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.